And they're away.
Conquers and Conquers goes on the beat. You land
Well, welcome everyone to our On The Bit Racing Australia TV coverage of the Country Series Special Week 1. Of course, it was what a week to kick off. And joining me, Scotty Power. Scotty, how good was Week 1? I mean, we had Taroom, we had Longreach, we had Ewan, and of course we had Mount Isa. The busiest week of heats for the Country Series Spectacular, of course, featuring the Country Cups Challenge and the Country Stampede. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was tremendous, Chargy. Like, just to open proceedings up with the four heats all in one weekend, and you know it was spread right out, wasn't it? Like you had the down to the Taroom in the south, and then out to Longreach and Mount Isa into the west and northwest regions, and then you got Ewing, the big two-day carnival, and of course the second day was the heats of the Country Stampede and also Country Cups.
And they were so well supported, these meetings, and you know, all the race clubs did a sterling job. I love seeing Ewan with that tinge of green on it. Of course, you know, a little bit of dust, but we're in the bush, aren't we? We don't expect too much fancy, but it was so good to see Ewan. It was so good to see Longreach covered on that tab through Sky Racing as well. And of course, the Isa, we had a few scary moments there with deadly choices, but we'll get into that shortly. In Taroom, such a well-supported meeting as well at Taroom.
Yeah, and, you know, as we mentioned last week, Chargy, that Taroom is one of the rare tracks in Queensland that go the Melbourne way, you know, and I guess you can take something out of that. Some horses might handle it and some don't.
Yeah, well, Scotty, I had to look twice. I looked at the replays and thought, hang on a minute, they're going the wrong way. But I remembered you said, yeah, it's the Melbourne way. So at Taroom, and it didn't worry a few there. But yeah, what a week to kick off. And of course, this is going to be a great series culminating in the finals at Doomben on the 5th of December of the Country Cups Challenge and of course the Country Stampede. And as I mentioned last week, I'm so excited to have the sprinters involved as well, because we had the Country Cups horses the last 2 years, but adding those sprinters is a different dimension as well, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, and especially at the Doomben track, you know, it's ideal for the sprinters over that short course, you know, and you know, Eagle Farm may be a different story, but I think Doomben, well and truly, is set for a great scene there on December the 5th.
All right, Scotty, let's hook in and have a look at the winners and grinners out of the week. Of course, Taroom, the Flemington of outback Queensland. How did you see the meeting and, of course, the winners?
Yeah, well, the Country Stampede was won by the Rockhampton galloper Absolute Bonza, trained by Kevy Miller and ridden by Martin Haley. Is a speed machine, as you've seen it at the TAB meetings. Chargy Absolute Bonza really gets out and gets going, and those dirt tracks suit it right down to the ground, because it won at Bundaberg before that, and that was on the sand at Bundaberg. It then adapted to the opposite way of going and was simply too good for them in the end. It got out, got going, while she tried hard, as did the mechanic. But Kevy Miller, he was tickled pink with the win, and as was Martin Haley. Rode it to perfection, and Absolute Bonza opened proceedings up with a good win at Taroom in the Country Stampede, the first heat.
It was great to see them head out there from Rocky, and that horse, as you say, Absolute Bonza, he's performed well at the tabs and jump, run, and he handled that. Well, what do we say, anti-clockwise way of going, isn't it? So what about the Country Cups Challenge? I know Gary Harley had a lot of trouble pronouncing this horse's name, and there was a bit of a stir-up went on. It was Galapagos. Of course, it's Galapagos. How did it go?
Yeah, Galapagos, a newcomer to the Rodney Hay stable. And, of course, Rodney, as you know, trains at Taroom, and Galapagos didn't do a great deal its first start, but it did travel wide that day. That was at Emerald. And I think it was a very, very good ride by Robbie Farr. Got the money over Boiling for Dale Groves, and the Jackie Crompton trained Richford wound up in third spot. But, yeah, great to see Rodney Hay with the horse to make the final of the Country Cups. And Galapagos got things rolling for him out at Taroom last Saturday on his home track.
Yeah, great to see. I'll tell you what, when he hits the big smoke, they'll know about it. It's great to see him at Rockhampton, many meetings, Rodney Hay. And yeah, what a kickoff it was, of course, kicking off with Taroom. We'll take a short break and we'll come back. Obviously, Scotty, the next one of my favourites, Ewan, coming up after the break.
On the Bit is proudly supported by Manuplex, creating a more productive future for Australian mining.
Hi guys, I'm Jim Cassidy, for On the Bit Australia Ambassador. We have a beautiful Zoostar gelding to be trained by our leading trainer, Charlie Davila.
Up to Divine Honours, Demi Spirit and Galaxy Ghost over the top of them late. Galaxy Ghost swamps them in the last 50 and the favourite gets up to win.
I'm very excited to announce Galaxy Ghost, a 5-year-old grey gelding by Zoostar, will be joining our stables and be a part of the On the Bit racing syndications. This gelding has a lot of potential for up in North Queensland and is going to be a huge asset to our stables.
If you're interested to come and race this beautiful gelding with us and have lots of fun, please give us a call. Ring-a-ding-ding. Give us a ring.
Well, welcome back to the On the Bit at Racing Australia with a look at the Country Series wrap-up after Heat 1. And Michael, we're going to head into the Ewan meeting up there with the results of the Country Stampede and also the Country Cup Heat 1 up there. A good crowd in attendance, some great racing, and District from the Manselman stable gained first blood.
Yeah, Scotty, they sent an onslaught of good gallopers there for the Stampede, didn't they? And I thought Janelle Ryan might have held the key and it led them up. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be for my tip, but that's okay. Johnny Manselman, a great supporter of country racing. And it was a really good race. I had a little bit of rain at Ewan the night before the meeting. So the track had that nice green tinge about it. There was a big crowd in attendance, as you said. And District, what a galloper he's been. Of course, he had a little stint up with Ricky Ludwig in Cairns, and he then went back to Johnny Manselman, and Johnny's had him firing to District, and he was just too good for him. A very, very good field, wasn't it? It was a tab quality Stampede field, that one, and he was just so good over the top of them. District, that's how he likes it. He likes to sit off the speed and peel off and just launch like he did at Ewan, and he just went bang District. And I think there's a real lot of form to come out of that race because there were some hot gallopers there, Raiden, the likes, Polar Blast, of course. I went amiss with him, but he ran well. He ran well second up to run third, but District just too good for him, Scotty.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I see District is in Brisbane this Saturday as well, Michael, to back up from last week, and a very, very tough galloper. Now we go to the Country Cup Challenge. The heat of that was won by Break My Stride. Benny Williams trains the horse, ridden by Graham Cleese. Not eligible for the race charging.
No, that's right. Yeah, we found out Break My Stride, of course, won at Caulfield on the 18th of December last year. It was a midweek metro meeting. He won a benchmark 65 over the 1,600 metres. So given the rules, if you won a metro race basically since November last year, you're out. So he's out. It was a great ride by Graham Cleese too on Break My Stride. Isn't he back in form, Graham Cleese? And a really good win. I thought the horse would be hard to beat, but of course ineligible. So let's talk about fluidity for Johnny Barr and of course Pietro Romeo in the saddle. He just sat back and he peeled out wide on the corner, and he really hit the line really hard. Fluidity. It was a good win, and he's a pretty good trainer, Johnny Barr. He knows how to get his horses right, and I tell you what, he won't be afraid to go down to Doomben when the whips are cracking on the 5th of December. Good win by Fluidity.
Yeah, I thought it was a great effort. Obviously Break My Stride round, got out and led, and Cleese rated it perfectly in front. I watched the replay, and that track suited it right into the ground. But as you said, unfortunately, Break My Stride, it's not eligible to make the final. So yeah, the best of luck to the connections with Fluidity. Now it'll get a start in the final after finishing second to Break My Stride in that heat up there at Ewing. Now we'll go to a short break with a word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back a look at the Longreach heats.
We do it all. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door. Bathroom, kitchens, renovations, roof repairs and installations with clear communications. Plumber to your door. 24/7 we'll be right there. Emergency service or repair. For water and gas we do it all. Just call for plumber to your door. 1-800-4-PLUMBER. Plumber to your door.
lead to Longreach. It was great to see the tab status out at Longreach. They got really big fields on the day, and we said Robbie Luck would have been licking his lips waiting to call these races. He did a sterling job, Rob, and of course a great meeting out there at Longreach. And the Stampede, really good race, bit of depth about it too.
Yeah, it certainly was. It was a good field. Media Vita has certainly found a new zest out there on the dirt tracks out that way. Chargy was formerly trained by the Jamie McConaughey Media Vita, and I know they had a bit of an opinion of the horse earlier on, but it was disappointing. But Toddy Austin and Brooke Richardson combined there on the weekend at Longreach and won the heat of the Country Stampede. Defeating Hazar was a very good run coming from well back, but Media Vita broke clear and won very, very easily in the end. It was good to see Brooke Richardson bounce back because, as you know, she had that fall out at Junda and things were a little bit concerning when she did have the fall, but she bounced back with a vengeance and teamed up with Toddy Austin and Media Vita to win the heat of the Country Stampede out at Longreach, defeating Hazar and Zoo Kaz winding up in third spot.
I tell you what, they're tough, these country jocks, aren't they? And, you know, the girls as well. They're as tough as anything out there, and it was good to see her back in the saddle.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, as you know, Brookie's a very, very good quality rider, and she goes to some of the TAB meetings, and she did so when we had the COVID restrictions in place. She went into Rockhampton for a couple of meetings as well. And, yeah, she's very, very well sought after out in these western regions.
Now, what about the Country Cup Challenge out of Longreach? A cracking field, and I'll tell you what, there was big whispers about this horse. Tell us about him. He didn't let him down.
Oh, certainly didn't, did he? Belente, trained by Ray Herman and Matty Gray. Gee, they got a great association together. I really liked the horse, Chargy, as we went through them last week. I liked his win at Barcallan, where he loomed up and it went straight past them when they straightened up and won easily in the end. There was a fair bit of speed on there in the Longreach Cup, as we've seen with Sharanda, then Ladude and co. Ladude sort of went for home on the corner, but then you could see Matty Gray get Belente into the clear, and gee, I really liked the way that it hit the line. Raced away to win easily in the end. Van Winkle came from well back, recently purchased by the Simpson stable out there in Longreach, and Royola for the O'Toole stable ran a very good race to finishing third spot. But I don't think we can write off SGL, mate. I know it finished fourth, had the big weight, had the 64 kilos, but I'm pretty sure we'll see it somewhere in the final with other heats happening in the near future. But yeah, all credit to the winner, Belente. And, you know, good luck to them. Good luck to the Hermans down there. It's in the final. I guess Ray will have to sort of space the runs out, have it ready to peak when it does go to Brizzy for the final.
Yeah, great race. And, you know, just going through the names you mentioned there, there's so many, you know, tab horses that I remember, Riola and the likes, you know, they're a really strong depth race. So Belente, the whispers were roars that he was very, very good, and he's going to give Deadly Choices something to compete with for sure.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
All right, well, that's the meeting covered out of Longreach. We'll take a break. We'll come back, have a look at the last of the 4 meetings on a big opening weekend for the series, and we come back, of course, and have a look at the Isa.
Hi guys, I'm Jim Cassidy, 4 on the bit Australia Ambassador. We have a beautiful Zoustar gelding to be trained by our leading trainer, Charlie Davila.
Up to Divine Honours, Demi Spirit and Galaxy Ghost over the top of them late. Galaxy Ghost swamps them in the last 50 and the favourite gets up to win.
I'm very excited to announce Galaxy Ghost, a 5-year-old grey gelding by Zoustar, will be joining our stables and be a part of the On the Bit racing syndications. This gelding has a lot of potential for up in North Queensland and is going to be a huge asset to our stables.
If you're interested to come and race this beautiful gelding with us and have lots of fun, please give us a call. Ring-a-ding-ding. Give us a ring.
On the Bit is proudly supported by Manuplex, creating a more productive future for Australian mining.
Welcome back to On the Bit Racing Australia with the Country Series wrap-up of the first heats of the Country Cup and also Country Stampede heats from the previous weekend. And Chargy, the last meeting we're going to look at is the Mount Isa meeting, and of course all the talk going into that meeting was Deadly Choices in the heat of the Country Cup. But first up, we'll take a look at the heat of the Country Stampede, and there was a little bit of an upset on that one.
Yeah, Scotty, it was interesting to see. I thought it was a very even field, that Stampede. I mean, Wicked Wiki had form, Tempesta Rossa, And of course, I was keen on Yarra Power, and he's had a few tricks at the start, but look, he never got into the race at all on Saturday, so he was a bit disappointing for mine. But in saying that, I'm sure he'll be improved. He'll have another crack at it. But what about Wicked Wiki? Of course, Terence Hill and Tanya Parry. She doesn't mind getting a horse, and she's not afraid to travel either. Tanya Parry, and too good for him. Wicked Wiki, as you say, it was a bit of an upset of sorts because he won by 2 lengths, and they bet upwards of $10 about Wicked Wiki, and just too strong for him. Robert Burrows' horse Tempesta Rossa tried hard. Ancina was there for Jason Barbarovich, and of course I thought Yarra Power just might have had that class to win it, but I'll be keen to have another look at Yarra Power. I wouldn't write him off just yet, but all honours with Terence Hill and Tanya Parry with Wicked Wiki, just too strong for him in the first heat of the Stampede there.
Yeah, congratulations to the connections, Charlie. I know Tanya's got a big string of horses up that way. You regularly see the fields with a number of the Parry runners in the fields, and it's a great support for Northwest. And good to see Wicked Wiki break into that first heat and be in the final. Now we'll take a look at the Country Cups heat out there at Mount Isa. And gee, this was a sterling finish, wasn't it? A little between the pair of them, mate. And I'll let you go through the wrap-up.
Yeah, well, it came down to a fact of, how far Deadly Choices, but you know what we say in racing, there's no such thing as a good thing. And I'll tell you what, he got a real fright, didn't he? Loud enough, and they gapped the rest, but Loud Enough made it a race. And of course, Terence Hill was on Loud Enough. Danny Ballard was on Deadly Choices. And you just thought, well, he's just going to draw away. And Loud Enough said, well, no, you're not going to have it all your own way. And he made the favourite work really hard. There would have been some anxious moments. Of course, I watched a replay and thought, wow, I got a bit scared there. But in saying that, he's done so well, Deadly Choices, this time in. He's just stamping his class all the way through. He's qualified now. So I think they'll work their plan very strategically now with Deadly Choices before the final, because he's got to be one of the real red-hot favourites. Of course, Valente was so impressive there at the Longreach meeting. So I'm keen to see Deadly Choices again, but I'm pretty happy with his run, but they'd be disappointed they didn't knock him off with Loud Enough.
Yeah, exactly. And, they had their chance. And, as you know, Deadly Choices did have the big weight. But Damien Fender will now, plan a path, as you said, mate, towards that final. And Deadly Choices, no doubt, will have a little bit of a freshen up in between another 1 or 2 runs, I guess, before they go down to that final. And look out for Loud Enough because, yeah, as you said, a great 2-horse war they had. But, yeah, Deadly Choices, the king of the North and the king of the Northwest, he got the job done and he gets another crack to go back to back.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? Of course, he's booked his path. And, that leads us to recap all the winners, Scotty. Taroom, a great meeting, absolute bonza. Kevin Miller took out the Stampede, as we said. Galapagos for Rodney Hay, or Galapagos, as my old mate Gary Harley calls it, won the Country Cups there. Ewan, of course, for Johnny Manselman, Fluidity by default, I guess you'd say. But it was a very good run, Fluidity. Got up to beat gets the job ahead of Break My Stride, who's ineligible. Longreach Media Vita for Toddy Austin. He likes to win these races. Valente, as you said, very impressive. Wicked Wiki, great run, good win, pretty dominant in the end. And Deadly Choices just got there to beat Loud Enough. So really looking forward to, what comes out of that. What's your thoughts? Was there something that stood out for you, Scotty, out of all those heats?
I think Valente, I know he's racing well out there on the dirt tracks out that way. He's got to, get into the grass. But I tell you what, it's just a consistent galloper. And the way that it joins in, like the Bar Calden track was a turf track, but the way it joined in after the fact that it was a 1,600-metre race on the sand, a lot of pace on, and some of the horses won't go at all with the kickback, as we see in a lot of those dirt tracks. But I think it was pretty special the way the Valente did hit the line, mate. Watch for it. I think it's going to be a genuine chance when the final gets here.
Yeah, I'm very keen to see Valente v Deadly Choices at this stage, but of course there's many more heats ahead. We've got a bit of a break this weekend on the Stampede and the Country Cups Challenge, so that's a bit of a review or wrap up of a very busy first week. Of course, Cloncurry coming up next Friday. And Scotty, that's a tab meeting. I'm excited for that. I know Joshy Fleming was talking about going up to Coolera. I haven't heard any more. That's on the Friday, so I get to cover that on Sky. So I'm keen to see that. Have you heard any more whispers about the calling up there?
No, I haven't heard no more, Chargy. It's great to see Cloncurry get a tab meeting up that way, and particularly for the heats, for the Stampede, the Country Stampede, and also the Country Cup, and that'll lead into the final. Of course, the winners of those heats will go into the final, and of course, as we mentioned before, if a runner has already won a heat, the horse that then will run second to that galloper will then go into the final. So, yeah, there's still a number of vacancies there. Of course, the first four are already in, so they're right. They're sitting there with rubbing their hands. They've already got their ticket booked, mate, to the big dance.
Yeah, what a series it's going to be. I can't wait for next Friday. I get to cover that meeting, as I said, at Cloncurry, and I reckon it's going to be so well supported by those people in the West. And they'll be from Charters Towers out to the West. They'll probably come from further south as well, and they'll support it really strong from the bush. Looking forward to the Stampede and the Country Cups next Friday, and of course we'll have a good look at that meeting too, Scotty, as it gets closer and acceptances come out. So that's a wrap up of the first week. Thanks for all your help, mate. Look, you're an astute judge. I'm following your form out of that, and to say that Valente could be the horse we've really got to earmark out of the first week, and what a first week it's been.
Yeah, mate, it's been tremendous to work with you, Chargy, and look forward to working through the series. And great to see the four heats and the four winners now go in for each of the Stampede and the Cup. And congratulations to all the connections of those runners.
What a great job all the clubs did, and thanks for all your help, Scotty. Can't wait for next week. Bring it on. For now, good afternoon.
Yeah, mate. And
what a week it's been.
Thanks, mate. Good evening, everybody.